Most people have no idea if they're on track for retirement, not because they don't care, but because nobody ever gave them an actual number to aim for. Today we fix that. According to the Federal Reserve, only 35% of non-retired Americans feel that their retirement savings are on track. That means 65 out of every 100 people working right now are either behind or have no idea where they stand. And 28% of Americans, more than 1 in 4, have nothing saved at all. Not a little behind, nothing. If you've watched this series from the beginning, you already have the accounts to open, you know the order to fund them, you know what to buy inside of them. But there's one question this series hasn't answered yet. How much is actually enough? The question has a real answer, not a vague "it depends," but a specific framework built by Fidelity, used by financial advisors across the country, that tells you exactly where you should be at every age. By the end of this video, you'll know your number, and you'll know what to do if you're behind it. This is video 6 in the Wealth Fundamentals series. We've covered why investing matters, the Roth IRA, index funds, investing your first 1,000, the order of operations between accounts. Every one of those videos was building to this question. How do I know if any of it is working? The answer is a set of milestones called salary multipliers, and they're simpler than they sound. Let's walk through them. A salary multiplier is exactly what it sounds like. It's your annual income multiplied by a number, and that's how much you should have saved for retirement by a given age. Fidelity, the largest retirement plan provider in the United States, built the most widely cited version of this framework. Here's how it breaks down. By age 30, 1 time your annual salary. By age 40, 3 times your annual salary. By age 50, 6 times your annual salary. By age 60, 8 times your annual salary. And by 67, 10 times your annual salary. Let's make those real numbers. If you earn $60,000 a year, by 30, you should have $60,000 saved. By 40, $180,000. 50, $360,000. 60, $480,000. And by 67, $600,000. If you earn $75,000 a year, by 30, $75,000. By 40, $225,000. Then $450,000, $600,000, and $750,000. Those aren't arbitrary numbers. They're built on the assumption that you'll need about 45% of your pre-tax income from your savings each year in retirement, with Social Security covering the rest. The 4% withdrawal rule ties directly into this. If you have 10 times your annual salary saved, a 4% withdrawal rate replaces roughly 40% of your income from savings. Add Social Security on top of that, and for most people, the math works. Now let's look at where most Americans actually stand, because this is where the gap becomes real. According to Vanguard's How America Saves report, the most comprehensive study of retirement account balances in the country, covering nearly 5 million plan participants, here are their median retirement savings by age. Ages 25 to 34, median savings, $16,255. The benchmark on a $60,000 salary by 30, $60,000. Ages 35 to 44, median savings, $39,958. Benchmark on a $60,000 salary by 40, $180,000. And ages 45 to 54, median savings, $67,796. Benchmark on a $75,000 salary by 50, $450,000. The median 45 to 54-year-old has $67,796 saved against a target of $450,000. That's not a small gap. That's a $382,000 gap. And here's the thing. This isn't a failure of intelligence. It isn't laziness. It's a system that never gave people a clear target to aim for, which is exactly what today's video is doing. So how do you hit these targets? There's one number that makes the entire framework work. 15%. 15% is the savings rate as a percentage of your pre-tax income that Fidelity, Vanguard, and most financial planners all agree on gets you to 10 times your salary by age 67. Now 15% sounds like a lot, but here's why it's more achievable than it sounds. That 15% includes your employer match. If your employer matches 4% of your salary, you only need to contribute 11% yourself to hit that 15% savings rate target. On a $60,000 salary, 11% is $550 a month out of your paycheck. or $127 a week. Not nothing, but not impossible either. And here's a critical piece of context for where you are right now. Gen Z is currently saving at an average rate of 11.3%. That's closer to 15% than it is to zero. That gap between where you are and where you need to be is smaller than the national average makes it look, because you're already in this conversation. Most people aren't. Quick pause. If the series is building something real for you, hit subscribe. The next video goes deeper on something we haven't touched yet in this series, and it drops next Wednesday. Let's get back to the video. Here's the most important thing I can tell you about these benchmarks. Being behind them is normal. Not just normal, it is the statistical experience of the majority of Americans at every single age cohort. The Federal Reserve data confirms it. The median is below the benchmark at 30, at 40, at 50, at 60. Which means if you're behind, you're not the exception. You are the rule. The question is just, what do you do about it from here? And there are 4 things that actually move the needle in order of impact. Move number 1, increase your savings rate by 1%. Not from just 0% to 15% overnight, just 1% more this year than last year. On a $60,000 salary, 1% is $50 a month. 1% a year for 5 years gets most people within range of the target without feeling the squeeze. Move 2, capture the full employer match. We've covered this in the last video, but it's worth repeating here. If you're not contributing enough to get every dollar of your employer match, that is your single highest return action. A 4% match is a 100% guaranteed return on those dollars. There's nothing in the market that competes with that. Move 3, automate the increase. Most 401k plans let you set an automatic annual contribution increase. Turn it on. Even 1% per year automatically added means you never have to think about it and you never feel the adjustment. Move 4, don't panic about the gap. The math of compound interest is more forgiving than it looks in your 20s and early 30s. A dollar invested at 25 is worth roughly 4 times more at retirement than a dollar invested at 45. The gap is real. The trajectory matters more than the gap. You can't change what you didn't save at 22. You can change what you save starting today. Here's how to run your own check right now in 60 seconds. Step 1, find your current annual gross salary. Step 2, open whatever retirement account you have. 401k, Roth IRA, or both, and find your current balance. Step 3, divide your current balance by your annual salary. That number is your current salary multiplier. Compare it to the benchmark for your age. Age 30, you want 1 times your salary. Age 40, 3 times your salary. Age 50, 6 times your salary. And at age 60, 8 times your salary. Let's go over an example. You're 32 years old, your salary is $65,000 a year, current retirement savings is $45,000. $45,000 divided by $65,000 is 0.69. Target by 30 was 1x, you're at 0.69x. That is not a crisis. That is a gap that closes with a consistent 15% savings rate over the next 8 years before 40. The benchmark is a goalpost, not a judgment. One question for the comments. Run the quick self-check right now. Divide your retirement savings by your annual salary and tell me your number. You don't have to give me your actual balance, just your multiplier. Are you at 0.5x, 1x, 2x? Drop it below. I want to see where this community stands, and I'll use those numbers to decide what to cover in the next video. Here's where you are right now. You know why investing matters. You know what accounts to use. You know what to buy. You know the order. You know how much to save. This is a complete, working, real-world financial system built from scratch in 6 videos. The next video in this series takes everything we've built here and answers one of the most searched questions in personal finance. What is inflation actually doing to your money? And what happens to your retirement savings if you ignore it? Because the benchmarks we cover today assume your purchasing power holds. Inflation does not care about benchmarks. That video drops next Wednesday. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. And if this series has changed how you think about money, share this video with one person who's been putting off thinking about retirement. They're not too late, but they will be eventually. I'll see you guys Wednesday.